So I'm bringing another tech video to the channel, I guess you could say. I'm very excited to talk about it because I don't have anyone to really talk to about like PC stuff. So making videos about it is so fucking cool. But so let me give you an overview of my PC and then I'll talk about what I plan to do. One more thing actually before I do get into the PC. I do have a Patreon. With my current income, I cannot feasibly afford to actually buy these parts somewhat soon. I'll have to buy them once a month. So this month I bought the case. Next month I'll have to buy... Ooh, sorry, I hiccuped. I have to buy like the motherboard and then the CPU, and I can't actually afford to buy a PC. And so if you guys could go to my Patreon and like leave a little bit of money. I've made the tiers very cheap on purpose just because I understand not everyone can afford, especially with the like cost of living right now, especially in the UK. It's awful. But I've made a $1 tier, $5 tier, and a $10 tier. So even if you just put in like the $1 tier, it'll still go massively appreciated on my end. So just think about it. So this is my PC right now. It's a lovely PC, don't get me wrong, but I do have a couple of issues with it. The main issue is the download speeds. The download speeds are very slow, and that's its peak. Like, it's not good. And then it's going to take me 19 hours just to download Apex Legends. And on top of that, the PC can't really work as a workstation. So obviously with my videos I have to edit, and this is the second time of me recording this video because I made a video on this already, had it fully edited, ready to go, spent like 3 days editing it, and then my PC couldn't handle the rendering and it would just crash every single time. So now I'm having to redo it and do it with less editing, and one of the files got corrupted, one of the video files was corrupted, so I couldn't even do that no more. But let me quickly give you an overview on all the parts. So we'll start off with the motherboard. If I'm remembering correctly, it's a Gigabyte GA-H61M DS2 DVI, I believe. I'll leave the specs in the description and a link to my video where I actually talk about this computer in depth. For the CPU, I've got an i5-3470. It's one of the best that I can get with this motherboard. For RAM, it's 2 sticks of DDR3 Kingston, 4GB RAM, so 8GB in total. And then for the graphics card, I've got a Radeon HD 7870. And it's a pretty solid graphics card, but it's only a 2GB card, so it can't really handle modern titles at like anything but low graphics. So that's this PC. Also with the SSD, if we look in here, that's my SSD. It's a verbatim 64GB SSD. It can hold my OS, and that is it. Nothing else. I have to use an external drive that I put on the top to download any games. But yes, let's actually get into the actual tech upgrade part of the video. So with the PC upgrade, what I plan to do is get a Ryzen 5 5600. Now, I'm tempted to go for a Ryzen 5 5600X, or maybe even another step up from that, which I believe is the 57600. Because the motherboard I've picked, they should all be able to seat in there, but I know I may have to do BIOS updates and stuff depending on the parts I pick. But for now, I'm just picking the Ryzen 5 5600. For the motherboard, I'm going with the Asus TUF Gaming B55 Plus Wi-Fi. The reason I'm doing that, like I said, it can socket to my CPU and still have some room for upgrades in the future. And on top of that, it allows me to have built-in Wi-Fi. Like I said, my current PC doesn't have, and it causes major issues for me. For the RAM, I've gone with the Corsair Vengeance LPX, 2 sticks of 16GB DDR4, 3600. I don't know what that means. I think that's like the speed it processes stuff at, because my sticks in this PC are like 1600. Those ones are 3600. So I think it's better. At least it sounds better. And compared to my 8GB of RAM, 32GB will be more than I would ever need. So that will just have me sorted for a long time until I eventually move up to DDR5. Then with the storage, I'm going with a Corsair MP600 Core XT 1TB. The reason I picked this storage was I actually had a completely different one, But then someone made a suggestion and was like, hey look, this one will perform better, but it's in a very similar price range. I think it was like £2 more expensive. So I was like, this is just worth it. It's the same amount of storage but higher performance, so the data can be moved easier and it'll be a lot faster for me in the long run, and I think that will be the smarter choice. For the video card, I'm going with the Radeon RX 6600 8 gigabytes graphics card. The reason I've done that is actually because I was tempted to go up. Now I believe if I can get on this motherboard a RX 7600 XT, I believe it's called. I believe that's like the most this motherboard could handle. I would have to get a better motherboard if I wanted to go up to the next one. And then if I put on a i5 5600X, then I can actually get up to, I think it was like 124 gigabytes of RAM, but I doubt I would ever need that much RAM because I'm not going to be doing anything that RAM intensive from my knowledge. And then this case here, the Montec Airbase ATX mid-tower case. This actually I've already bought and it wasn't this price. I managed to pre-order it, so it's not going to be coming into the country for another 2 months, but I got it for £54 instead of £124, so I saved like half the price. So honestly there, I can wait a couple of months since I'm not going to be able to buy all these parts straight away, and I'll still receive it in a somewhat timely fashion. And you can see that there's like no monitor or power supply. Right now I've got a shitty TV with and my power supply is a kind of crappy 750 watt power supply. I'm still deciding whether I want to reuse this power supply or whether I want to get a better one, just because I feel like I'm better off getting maybe a 850 watt power supply with a higher rating, because this one's just 80 plus. It's not even like 80 plus bronze. So maybe got like an 80 plus gold, it would last me, you know, a lot longer than this one probably will. And then with a monitor, I think you may be getting 1 to 2 180, so like 1080p monitors, just because I'm trying to go for like really good 1080p gaming, like 100 frames, get like 75 hertz monitors, you know, actually have a nice amount of a nice bit of leeway, because I want room for upgrades in the future, and I don't want to stress out my board if I'm going to be, you know, recording and editing and doing a lot of crap. So I plan to play GTA RP. Current PC cannot handle that, not even close. And when I get this upgrade, it should be able to run it actually really nicely, but then with recording at the same time, I don't want the graphics card to be under too much strain for trying to go to 1440p. So 1080p I think is a good middle ground there. Now let's actually check some benchmarks on them. So for these, I'll be checking the benchmarks of my CPU, GPU, and RAM. These will be side by side, so my one's on the left, the one I'm going to get is on the right. Now if we look at it, it's a 50% power increase, and actually if I got the 5600X, did that go down? There's no way. 52. Yeah, no, it couldn't have. You know, I'm being silly. I get like 5% more for like 20 bucks. So I'm still weighing that out in my mind whether I want to use it or not. But it's much faster speed, has much higher core speeds on every single one. On single core, dual core, quad core, and octa core. It just outperforms my one massively. Don't get me wrong, the i5 3470 is not bad. If you run it with like a good board, with a good GPU and some decent RAM, you could play a lot of modern games at low to mid settings. But because I don't have the best things going for me, unfortunately I cannot. Overclocked wise, this one performs much better overclocked, so if I do ever end up overclocking it, then I can get that out of it. It's 20% cheaper and 50% more like value wise, and users have rated it 4% higher. So in my opinion, although it holds a lower market share, the price drop for the value is just much better, because I got given like half of this PC for free, my current PC. I got the case, the board, the RAM and the GPU for free, and I bought the CPU myself. just because it's one of the best I could see in there that wasn't like stupidly expensive, and I got it second hand as well, so it was only like, I think I only paid $50 for it. Not bad, but you know, I could still do better. And then, like, if we look over here, they actually tell us like a rough idea of where it ranks speed wise. So the 3470 is apparently a destroyer class, so 63% in gaming, 69% in desktop, and a 50 in workstation. Whereas the Ryzen 5 5600 is a 93, a 96, and a 98. So if you can see, like, it's, thinking about it logically, I will be getting a lot better performance, I believe, just by upgrading such a small thing, and it's cheaper as an upgrade, which is surprising because the this one came out 10 years after my current CPU, and yet it's still cheaper. It doesn't make sense. And then for the graphics card, my one's here on the left, obviously the one I'm going to get on the right, and it is superseded by one, so I can always get the upgrade. It is 232% better, and that would be great because I know games like Grand Theft Auto are both CPU and GPU intense, but having this better GPU will definitely ease the burden, I reckon, quite a lot, since it has a 230% increase, and it has that pretty much across the board. Like, better lighting effects, 150%, 500% better multi-rendering, better reflection handlings, better end body calculations, peak lighting, peak reflections, peak multi-rendering, all of it. Just vastly superior, has a much higher market share, and much better value for what you're paying. Although it is like 40% more expensive than my current one, you know, that $100 that I'm paying extra, but for a 300% to 200% increase across the board, I really cannot complain by any sense of the words. Then if we go to the RAM, now obviously this isn't the RAM I've got. I couldn't find my exact RAM, they didn't have it on this website, so I've gone with a close-ish, like the closest I could find for the speed wise, and then the exact one I'm getting on the other side. So 90% and 93% increase, and bear in mind these ones I believe are actually slightly better than my one, so the increase will probably be more. It has much faster readings and writings and mixed multi-core use, so for me it practically doubles everything, like power and speed wise, so it will allow me to produce videos and like just do everything I want to do around this channel much faster. Now, with everything about this PC, it's at least an 80% increase. Apart from the CPU, sorry, it's a 50% increase, but you know, I'm more worried about the GPU than that, because the only thing I'm mainly concerned about is bottlenecks, but the 5600 should never really bottleneck the 6600, so weighing it out wise, this should be a very functional and good, like, overall PC. It'll definitely be a mid-range CP, what the fuck am I saying? A mid-ranged PC, but it will get the job done. And then if we, there's one more thing I wanted to look at, oh yeah, with audio gear, because they have like webcams and mice and speakers and stuff on here, but I was trying to find a good microphone, and I don't know really any good microphones. I don't know much about audio equipment in general, so if any of you guys are able to leave comments or suggestions, or like even just point me in the direction of like useful Reddits or something there where I can actually, you know, do what I need to do and get like a decent microphone, because I have a good microphone, don't get me wrong, but I want to be able to produce the best quality videos possible. That's also why I asked you guys to go to the Patreon in the beginning of the video, because I'm not happy with the production quality of my videos. I'm happy with their performance. Some of them are performing very well, do not get me wrong, but I feel like I could be doing more on my end to make it a more enjoyable experience for you guys, and it just bothers me that I'm not able to realize the vision I have for half of my videos because I don't have the correct hardware for it. So yeah, if you could leave any suggestions for cameras, microphones, green screens, that sort of stuff, I will look into it myself, so don't think it's all on you guys, but just you know, if you could point me in the right direction of any good brands and stuff like that, I'd be appreciative. But thank you very much for watching. Please tell me what you think about my PC part picker list. I believe this one is actually available to be seen publicly. Was it the... no, it's this bottom one. Yeah, so it's able to see publicly. This is the power supply and stuff I was going to go with, and the monitor. So that is the full price. So if you want to go look at the PC build, go onto my PC part picker list and have a look at my build. But yes, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.